This is Valerie Aiello, and you are listening to IdeaDiary. Welcome back, y'all. I'm back in the office, and thanks for coming and hanging out. I am on my 50th episode of the IdeaDiary podcast, and I did it almost in 50 days, but I had to miss 2 days for travel days. I didn't have time to make an extra episode to post on those days, and when I just found it to be too hard to film an episode on a travel day and being in a new place and all that stuff. So, yeah, just learning the process of doing a daily show and having fun and all that stuff. I hit 200 listens on the podcast using Anchor. So people listening with iTunes or Spotify. And I guess there are a handful of other places people listen to podcast, but I don't know the names of those off the top of my head. So I'm feeling pretty good. I know sometimes I'll check the podcast, I'll re-listen back for sound like in my car or on my laptop or something. But I know I didn't do it 200 times. So I know there's somebody somewhere out there listening, and I love it and I appreciate it, and it's pretty cool. So I cut my own hair today. I cut about 3 inches off. It was a quarantine haircut. I've never done that before, but I felt like it was time. I haven't been to get my hair cut since I don't even know when. It must have been January or February. But I get my hair cut in San Antonio, so it's kind of a drive, and I didn't want to travel, to different cities just for a haircut. So yeah, I've been needing a haircut pretty bad. So I just cut off 3 inches myself. And I'm pretty sure I either give myself a mullet or a 90s Rachel haircut. I won't know for sure until I really wash it and really style it and see what's going on when my hair is straight. So what else happened? Oh, so I was gone the week, not a full week from my house, but my flowers, whatever these certain flowers are, I have no idea what they are, but they seem to last a pretty long time. The carnations lasted, and I guess this is a daisy of some kind. So, I'm trying to figure out which flowers last 2 weeks, and, with changing their water and cutting the stems, and I'm getting closer to figuring out which flowers do that. I have no idea, but for whatever reason, I've never been a flower person, but something energy-wise, ever since this whole apocalypse happened, something's telling me to keep fresh flowers around. So I'm listening to that little nudge from my intuition, I guess. So what else? There was an Inspire Nation, which is a YouTube show that I listen to. And I guess it's a podcast also, but I watch the episodes on YouTube. The episode, let me see when it was posted. So August 20th, 2 days ago, there's an episode called How to Change Your Energy to Change Your Life, Removing Energy Blocks with Dr. Sue Morter. And I really recommend this episode. There's a lot of people that teach how to remove energy blocks, and, I do believe in them. There are certain things that are they're stuck in your mind and you don't even know they're in there, but once you realize they're there, you can kind of tell your subconscious mind, hey, that's kind of a dumb thought. Like, let's not think that anymore. And, it makes you smarter. Like, once you figure out all these things that you've been thinking For example, what's the one? Money doesn't grow on trees. Everyone kind of knows that phrase. There's a lot of people with money mindset, money mindset blocks and different type of blocks. There's blocks for losing weight. There's blocks for being happy. There's blocks for always dating the wrong person. There's a million ways that you can mess up your own life with your own mind in your subconscious. But this particular episode of Inspire Nation, Dr. Sue Morter, I've never heard of her, and she really explained how to accept when bad things happen to you, how to accept them and, kind of embrace them and move on. So I definitely recommend that everyone listens to this episode as soon as you have time. It's an hour, but totally worth it. And the thing with the way people can explain things to you and you just don't hear it because there's like certain frequencies in people's voice, and certain people can explain the same thing in a little bit of a different way, and then you hear it. Sometimes, I always think about you could tell somebody exactly how to make their life amazing, and they can't. You can give them A to B instructions, and they can't hear you because they haven't learned certain things. They haven't failed in certain ways to learn the lessons that they need to learn to be, have their best life ever, whatever it is. But for whatever reason, this woman explained kind of energy blocks and how to embrace bad things that happen. And she also did this breathing exercise where you're breathing with the universe. So like the Milky Way is a spiral, and it's kind of like everything's kind of wobbling, with the planets and, revolving around the sun. And there's probably, just the way that nature works and the way that atoms, spin inside a cell. And there's like this certain way to breathe that you're kind of matching the movement of the entire universe, basically. And I was kind of breathing with the show as she was, just talking about how to do it. And then maybe like 5 minutes later, I got this phone call that was like the most insane thing happened that I knew was going to happen, but it was an impossible thing to happen. But it did happen, and it's like it was happening as I was doing this weird breathing exercise with the universe. So anyway, I really like this episode, and I really, I think that everyone should go and listen to it. What else? I've been listening to a lot of Joe Dispenza. Dr. Joe Dispenza, so he was in the, kind of became famous with the movie What the Bleep, a quantum physics movie, which everyone should watch also. And then he did a book called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And then he did a book called You Are the Placebo. And, he does a lot of quantum physics using the human mind and explains it in a very first level way to understand things. So I do like him, but I go on and off with like watching his talks or, he's not one of my everyday people that I like to check out, their shows and stuff like that and their interviews, just from time to time. But there is someone put together this one video, and it kind of explains a lot about autonomic nervous system and neuroplasticity and epigenetics. It's just kind of touches on that. So, those are all giant topics. But I'll put this video where I did think it was like a jammed packed amount of information in like a 8-minute video. He talks about mentally rehearsing the things that you want to happen. And when you're doing it mentally, you are installing circuits in your brain. So when you do it for real, then your brain kind of already knows what it's going to do. So for example, like a lot of athletes and a lot of Olympians and really professional sports people, they'll run the race in their mind before they actually run the race, every single moment. They'll, basketball players will play the game from just over and over and over again, just sitting there thinking about it. And that helps them become a better athlete, because when they're actually playing the game, then their brain is practiced, as well as practicing, their muscles and stuff like that. So yeah, I really like this video. There's this thing that a lot of people say, like, you have to if you want things to change, you have to become a new person, which is a very bizarre idea. And I kind of get the point. I don't necessarily like that point, because I do think you could have an awesome life just being you as you are today. You don't have to change to love yourself. You don't have to change to be awesome and to feel good. When you're not happy, it is kind of you have to reinvent yourself. So maybe your living space, clean it up, be a neat freak instead of letting everything wait till the last minute before you actually have to clean because you can't stand it. There are things that you can change to make yourself better, even though you are awesome now, just in general. But he talks about kind of knowing, like, you have to reinvent yourself, but he was kind of missing a piece. Like, even though he had done decades of research and he was working with all these people, he kind of realized he was missing some piece of the puzzle to get people to really change their lives. He does a bunch of workshops, and obviously he writes books, and he does different in-person things where somebody would basically go through one of his meditations, and they might have a full skin rash all over their body, and then they meditate for an hour and their rash is gone. Like, crazy stuff like that you can heal yourself with your mind. So I guess that was kind of the book of You Are the Placebo. But yeah, I guess, not much going on today. I'm home, about to go grocery shopping and fill up, just replenish all the stuff that needs to get done whenever you get back into town after a while. And just wanted to celebrate 200 listens on the podcast and 50 episodes. And I guess that's pretty much it. My goal is a 15-minute show. So I know, I don't know, I'm still, for some reason, when I was traveling, it was hard to hit that 15 minutes when it really hadn't been before. So I'm feeling like I'm going to get, I'll be back for a show tomorrow. And then hopefully this week coming up is going to be a super productive week. And I'll have lots of me time to work on whatever and to research a ton of stuff. And I'm really excited for Monday. And I'll be back with a show tomorrow. And I'm just going to, hang out and enjoy myself for the weekend. And I hope you guys are having an awesome day. Anyways, I still don't know how to end the show, so I'm just going to play the music.